Chapter 2. The Pursuers. The woman at the window of the Hanover Hotel drew back the grey curtain and looked down at the street below. "Is it possible?" she murmured to the shadows that held court in the corner of the room. There was no answer to her question forthcoming, nor did there need to be. Unlikely as it seemed, the trail had incontestably led her here, to this dog-tired city, lying bruised and neglected beside a river that had once borne slave ships and cotton ships and could now barely carry its own weight out to sea, to Liverpool. "Such a place," she said. A minor dust dervish had whipped itself up in the street outside, lifting antediluvian litter into the air. "Why are you surprised?" said the man who half lay and half sat on the bed, pillows supporting his impressive frame, hands linked behind his heavy head. The face was wide, the features upon it almost too expressive, like those of an actor who'd made a career of crowd-pleasers and grown expert in cheap effects. His mouth, which knew 1,000 variations of the smile, found one that suited his leisurely mood and said, "They've led us quite a dance, but we're almost there. Don't you feel it? I do." The woman glanced back at this man. He had taken off the jacket that had been her most loving gift to him and thrown it over the back of the chair. The shirt beneath was sweat-sodden at the armpits, and the flesh of his face looked waxen in the afternoon light. Despite all she felt for him, and that was enough to make her fearful of computation, he was only human, and today, after so much heat and travel, he wore every one of his 52 years plainly. In the time they had been together pursuing the fugue, she had lent him what strength she could, as he in his turn had lent her his wit and his expertise in surviving this realm. The kingdom of the cuckoo, the families had always called it, this wretched human world which she had endured for vengeance's sake. But very soon now the chase would be over. Shadwell, the man on the bed, would profit by what they were so very close to finding. And she, seeing that Clary besmirched and sold into slavery, would be revenged. Then she would leave the kingdom to its grimy ways, and happily. She turned her attentions back to the street. Shadwell was right. They had been led a dance, but the music would soon exist. From where Shadwell lay, Immaculata's silhouette was clear against the window. Not for the first time his thoughts turned to the problem of how he could sell this woman. It was a purely academic exercise, of course, the one that pressed his skills to their limits. He was by profession a salesman. That had been his business since his early adolescence. More than his business, his genius, he prided himself that there was nothing alive or dead he could not find a buyer for. In his time, he had been a raw sugar merchant, a small arms salesman, a seller of dolls, dogs, life insurance, salvation rags, and lighting fixtures. He had trafficked in Lord's water and hashish and Chinese screens and patented cures for constipation. Amongst this parade of items there had of course been frauds and fakes aplenty, but nothing that he had not been able to foist upon the public sooner or later, either by seduction or intimidation. But she, Immaculata, the not-quite woman he had shared his every waking moment with these past many years, she, he knew, would defy his talent as a salesman. For one, she was paradoxical, and the buying public had little taste for that. They wanted their merchandise shorn of ambiguity, made simple and safe. She was not safe. Oh, certainly not. Not with her terrible rage and her more terrible aluas, nor was she simple. Beneath the incandescent beauty of her face, behind eyes that concealed centuries, yet could be so immediate they drew blood, beneath the deep olive skin, the Jewish skin, there lay feelings that would blister the air if given vent. She was too much herself to be sold, he decided, not for the first time, and told himself to forget the exercise. It was one he could never hope to master. Why he torment himself with it? Immaculata turned away from the bow. "Are you rested now?" she asked him. "It was you wanted to get out of the sun," he reminded her. "I need to start whenever you are, though I haven't a clue where we begin." "That's not difficult," Immaculata said. "Remember what Sister prophesied?" Events close to crisis. As she spoke, the shadows in the corner of the room stirred, and Immaculata's two dead sisters showed their ethereal skirts. Shadwell had never been easy in their presence, and in their turn had always deceived him.
But the old one, the hag, the bell, had skills in oracle, no doubt of that. What she saw of her sister Magdalene's afterbirth was usually correct. This can't stay hidden much longer, Immaculata. As soon as it's moved, creates, vibrates, it can't help itself. Such life, press such a hideaway. And feel any of these vibrations, said Shell, swinging his legs on the edge of the bed, standing up. Immaculata shook her head. No, yet, but we should. Fadwa picked up his jacket, put on, finding shimmering in filament seduction across the room. By a momentary caught sight of Magdalene and the hag, the old covered her eyes to gaze pillaged from the dead. Fearful of a door, Magdalene concerned herself, her lids long ago been sewn to sockets from some breast. When the movement began in an hour to pinpoint a location, Immaculata, a sad moment, to the suit that had found him seemed today to have been a long time